Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning. If you're watching us live on Facebook, we do appreciate that. Please remember that Facebook does keep these videos on our page, so you can go check them out whenever you have a chance. If you're watching us later online, we do upload these shows to www.livingstonparishnews.com/podcast. It's a free page. You can check them out there, and we appreciate you listening there as well. Obviously, we have audio and video versions. That's why I said you can listen. Also want to let folks know we do have a coronavirus page on our website. We're updating that daily. We have plenty of information coming out about what's going on locally and that sort of thing. Please check that out again, www.livingstonparishnews.com/coronavirus. I also want to let folks know that we have partnered with Sport and Center along with a huge list of local businesses. They're going to be offering t-shirts that the public can buy. You're going to be purchasing them from Sport and Center. Technically, you'll be picking them up from Sport and Center. They're going to have the logo of your favorite business on there. The point of the sale is to try to help some of these businesses, especially those who weren't able to secure a loan or PPP, get back on their feet. So the t-shirt sales, the cost of the t-shirt is going to be kept by Sport and Center to make sure that they're not, throwing away money on it. But the remainder will be given to the businesses to do as they will, according to James Adam McCants from Sport and Center. He likes the whole saying, yeah, we're all in the same storm, but we are not in the same boat. We're all in different boats. We're all handling this different. He said, some businesses have already said, whatever profits I get, I'm giving to charity. Some have said, I need it just to keep the lights on. Others have said, depending on how much I get, I might be able to bring an employee back. So a lot of different means for people trying to get those t-shirts sold. If you're looking for that website, it is Louisiana CTP20.itemorder.com/sale. Again, that's Louisiana CTP20.itemorder.com/sale. Of course, we have a story on our website on the coronavirus page. If you want a quick link to that, you can check it out or check out Sport and Center's Facebook page. Getting into your traffic this morning, 190 4H Club Road, River Road, minor delays. It's actually pretty clear out there today. Looking at 64, looking very clear. Getting into Central, I-12 is clear as well. Looking at some delays there on the on-ramps to get on the interstate, as well as some delays at 190, 447 and 190 in Jubin. So please keep that in mind, but you're looking at a relatively clear commute this morning. Weather today, going to get nasty. 71 degrees is your current temperature. I see the sun is poking its head out a little bit this morning. Going to get up to 82 today. Overnight low of 68. However, around noon, we're looking at thunderstorms for a few hours. So please be prepared for that, especially if you're coming home from work. There is a good chance you might be driving home in the rain. Again, thunderstorms starting around noon. Getting into those mitigation efforts, want to talk about washing your hands for 20 seconds or more with soap and water. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at the office. Wear a mask in public if at all possible. Control your cough with your elbow or a tissue. Don't touch your face. 6 feet or more distance between yourself and others in public. That's called social distancing. 10 people or less to a gathering, preferably less. That also includes office scenarios. Stay home if you're sick and utilize telehealth to get in touch with your doctor, and try to work from home if at all possible. Current coronavirus cases as of yesterday at noon in Louisiana, 32,662 cases. 22,608 have recovered, 240,000 tests. So that number continues to increase rapidly. 1,194 hospitalizations, 147 of those hospitalizations on ventilators. 2,315 deaths. Excuse me. Sorry, that's the last statistic. Sorry about that. In Livingston Parish, you're looking at 293 cases, 23 deaths on 3,700 tests. Yesterday, state officials, there was a regular governor's press conference, and state officials discussed kind of their mindset and the process that they went through to determine who was going to get to open under that 25% capacity rate for the phase one, and who was going to remain closed. One of those is tattoo parlors, massage parlors, spas. These kinds of places were remaining closed. So Dr. Alex Bu from the Louisiana Department of Health went through sort of a three-part system as to what determines whether or not a business was reopening in phase one or not. Under the guidelines that this is all about mitigating as much risk as possible while as opening as many businesses as possible. So the three pieces of our criteria are the number of people from the public that are coming in and out and the rate of that entry, the intensity of the customer-employee interaction, and we'll explain that in just a second, and of course, the ability to modify that interaction. So the intensity of an interaction first starts with how much time over 15 minutes are two people going to spend inside of 6 feet of each other. So, of course, in a tattoo parlor, in a massage parlor, those kinds of things, you're talking anywhere from 30 minutes to 90 minutes, and then for some tattoos, maybe even longer than that. So that was one of the, Dr. Bu kind of stressed, using the tattoo parlor as an example, that they are trying to keep that contact down as much as possible in phase one. Now, one of the things that he did say was that there's a chance to modify that interaction. However, in those scenarios, there's not, if you're doing nails, you can put up a face guard. He said even if you're doing hair, you can put up a face guard and that kind of thing, or something in between you and the client. You can also keep that interaction 15 minutes or less. One of the things that he was concerned about, especially in those examples, was just the amount of time that two individuals would be within 6 feet of each other, and the inability to modify that interaction. Dr. Bu did say that the state, between the Resilient Louisiana Commission, which is the task force that the governor has propped up to try to go industry by industry to reopen places, trade groups that are involved with specific industries, as well as the governor himself. This was a decision that wasn't made lightly. They did go through this process on every industry that had been closed in the original proclamation, and they determined that these were the ones that were the most at risk for both customers and employees. If you're looking for that full list of what remains still closed: tattoo parlors, massage parlors, spas, amusement parks, children's museums, and bars without a food permit. Those that have reopened, but under that 25% capacity we talked about a lot yesterday and on Monday, or yesterday and on Tuesday, on Wednesday and Tuesday. Churches, funerals, and weddings, restaurants and bars with a food permit, gyms and fitness centers, movie theaters, casinos, museums, zoos, and aquariums, barbershops, nail salons, and hair salons, and malls. I always want to make sure that I remember to say the nail salons. Had a lot of questions about that. So it is hair and nail salons. Also discussed yesterday, Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser joined the governor and said that the 18 state parks that had been closed due to the proclamation will be reopening. That's 18 out of 21. 3 state parks, especially in central and northern Louisiana, were not commandeered by the state, but were used by the state to place people who tested positive for coronavirus and either could not go home because their home was full of at-risk people, or were homeless and had nowhere to go. So I can't remember. I know Chico Park was one of them. Lake Bissonneau Park was one of them. I cannot remember the third, but they were all in either central or northern Louisiana. They were not around here. So Tickfaw State Park here in Livingston Parish will be reopening as part of phase one. You will be, social distancing will be a requirement, as well as mitigation. They'll be cleaning places down, especially that are high touch areas. They also will, Lieutenant Governor Nungesser did say, state park rangers are going to be looking for large gatherings, and they are going to ask you to disperse. So they're going to be taking these mitigation efforts very seriously at those state parks. But again, they will open, 18 of the 21 will open to the public in phase one. Yesterday's increase in cases had a lot of people shook up. They went up over 600 in a day. However, the governor said that was much like what happened just a few weeks ago. A few new commercial labs finally felt like they had enough tests, were coming online, and just went ahead and sent those to the state. The governor said that a lot of those had come from previous weeks and should have already been counted. The technical rise in tests was in cases, excuse me. So the technical rise in cases for Wednesday's numbers should have been more along the lines of just about 300, as opposed to about the 617 that were recorded. So please keep that in mind. That was just a couple of new labs coming online. The governor said that every time a lab comes online, they have a spike like this. And, they have to go interview them, ask them, for how long have you been accepting tests and processing them? How far back could this have gone? What's your average timeline? That sort of thing. Trying to get these folks to start submitting tests on a daily basis. Of course, that's the process that the state enjoys. Yesterday, it was announced out of the United States Capitol that the Democrats were coming up with their own bailout bill. It would have been $3 trillion. According to Republican lawmakers, it is dead on arrival. A lot of them described it as partisan. It was an 1,800-page document. $6,000 stimulus payments, regardless of citizenship. So if you had an address or if you had applied for any kind of benefits or a green card or anything like that, you would have gotten $6,000. It also funneled $500 billion additional to state government. So we'll see. They're not even sure if they're going to do another stimulus package or not. Economists from the Cato Institute said that at this point, state governments are resourceful. They should basically fend for themselves. That there are rainy day funds, there are tax bases that they can increase. They could also borrow money from outside sources. So it'll be interesting to see how the federal government treats this, especially moving forward with some governments operating on a July 1st to June 30th budget. They'll be coming out with basically what the revenue cuts are going to be either today or tomorrow, and what they expect in terms of service cuts moving forward, depending on how much has been removed from the budget. So we will see what happens today or tomorrow with that budget, and we'll see how the federal government handles a lot of these revenue shortages, especially in some of these states that were hard hit. The Louisiana Department of Education yesterday released a huge series of information for summer camps, daycares, and summer schools. Here over the summer, summer's just about to start. Social distancing is going to be a requirement. Assessing students for symptoms on a daily basis and frequent cleaning were the three main points that the Louisiana Department of Education wanted to instill. They bored down into those a little bit. Of course, regular cleaning was a huge deal, but especially trying to make sure that staff, including teachers for summer school, are trained to look out for certain symptoms for COVID-19, of course, being equipped with a thermometer to try to keep these kids' temperature and to see how things progress over the summer. So those were the guidelines released by the Louisiana Department of Education. You can check out their full sort of details if you need them at our website, www.livingstonparishnews.com/coronavirus. I already talked about Sport and Center. Just want to remind you again that we have partnered with the local business. We're trying to sell T-shirts for ourselves and for other businesses. The quote from Mr. James Adam McCants was that, we're all in this same coronavirus storm, but we're not in the same boat. A lot of people are dealing with this in different ways. The T-shirt sales are supposed to help people get back on their feet, especially those who did not receive economic injury disaster loans or PPP loans. Some people have said they're going to use the money for charity. Some said they're going to use it for a light bill. Others said, depending on how much I get, I might use it to bring back an employee. So we will see how those shirt sales go. Want to remind folks that that shirt sale does end May 31st. That website is louisianactp20.itemorder.com/sale. So again, louisianactp20.itemorder.com/sale. As students kind of barrel towards the end of the school year, please remember that most of your kids' work is going to be due tomorrow. That would be May 15th. Make sure that even if they felt like they were completed on Monday, go back and check. You never know if a teacher put in a last-minute assignment. However, that sort of signals the end of the year, and a lot of schools are handling it differently. For instance, French Settlement started releasing on a daily basis individual posts based on each individual senior. It had comments from teachers, usually had a couple of photos of the senior. It was a pretty cool project. Of course, you can go check that out at their Facebook page, French Settlement High School. Highly recommend it. It's really sweet. It's very emotional, as a lot of parents are sharing them and commenting on them. But of course, everybody in every school is going to be trying to deal with this as best they can, and that includes students and faculty. They'll be looking towards graduations this summer, what they look like and when they're going to be. They still don't have that answer. However, one of the answers we do have for sports, summer sports will occur. In what fashion? Still not 100% sure on that. Looking for the LHSAA as well as the school board are looking for a little more guidance, although they do know that things will begin on June 8th. That would be summer workouts, summer baseball, summer basketball, that kind of thing. Not entirely sure how something like a summer basketball game is going to work because it's indoors. A lot of this is based on that 25% capacity, but there will be some kind of summer sports, and we will keep you apprised as to when they're going to occur. So please keep an eye on our website, www.livingstonparishnews.com/coronavirus. But the local school board did, that would be the Livingston Parish School Board, did say that they are going to play it cautious. They are not going to start back up with school-sanctioned workouts and sporting events until June 8th. Hopefully, maybe we'll be in phase 2 by that point. We want to wrap it up with some mitigation efforts at the beginning of our wrap-up, our daily little wrap-up here. Wash your hands with soap and water for 20 seconds or more. Disinfect common surfaces at home and at your office. Wear a mask in public if at all possible. Control your cough with your elbow or a tissue. That includes sneezing as well. Don't touch your face. Please don't. 6 feet or more between yourself and others in public. 10 or less to a gathering, preferably less. And stay home. Cases, 32,662 cases statewide. 22,608 have recovered on 240,000 tests. 1,194 hospitalizations on 147 ventilators with 2,315 deaths. In Livingston Parish, 293 cases, 23 deaths on 3,700 tests. Want to let you know you're looking at a relatively clear commute this morning. Minor delays at 194H Club Road and River Road. Delays on those on-ramps at Jubin, Walker, and Denham Springs, getting up onto I-12. I-12 itself is clear. Looking at a clear shot in the central on Highway 64. And as mentioned, I-12 is clear. So not too bad of a commute this morning if you're heading into Baton Rouge. Your weather today, it's currently 71 degrees. It's going to get up to 82 is your high today. Thunderstorms are going to begin around noon and probably last into the late afternoon and evening hours. So please remember that. Bring an umbrella for when you're leaving work if you are going to work today. 68 degrees, that overnight low. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you guys joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. Want to remind folks that we are on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays at $7 a month, and you get that in your mailbox. We're also online, as mentioned several times, www.livingstonparishnews.com. You can check that out. We're updating it right now 24/7. Pretty much everything we put up there is free. Normally it's $5 a month with some free content being released. We do hope you guys have a great day. Please don't forget that umbrella if you are going out and about. Going to have those rain showers starting at noon, and we will be back with you tomorrow morning for more coronavirus information.